Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is me, Chris, and of course, we wouldn't have a show because we didn't have a show Tuesday because we did not have the Jimmy.
What's going on? Yeah.
Welcome back, man.
Back
from
in
your
Colorado.
I guess you can't really call it cross country.
Almost pretty far. You know what blew my mind is that was like a 4-hour flight there, and I thought that was pretty good for 3/4 of the way, 2/3 of the way cross country, and coming back, it was like an hour and 15 minutes faster. It was like 2:45, 2:50.
I get into that conversation with Megan all the time when we fly to Mexico. Like flying to Mexico is like a 3-hour and 20-minute flight, which to Cancun, and but flying home it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes. And she's like, "No, it's always 3 hours." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "It's always faster."
But it was significant.
Yeah, an hour is super fast. That's like super jet stream.
Yeah, so like I thought we were going fast out there. I was watching the tracker and stuff. It was like 455 miles an hour. I'm like, man, we're cruising. I thought it was more like 400, 425. And then coming back, we was like hitting 600 miles an hour. I'm like, geez, it doesn't feel like it, but that's crazy.
That's
cool.
all in.
I don't travel very often, so I'm excited about this stuff.
I try not to.
Yeah.
I got to give a couple shout outs. So Megan made me promise that I give a couple shout outs. One, she made me promise this one, but I got to give a shout out to her. So she comes to me the other day and she says, "Hey, what are you doing, like next May 18th? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, "Well, I just bought tickets to Sunday at the PGA Championship next year."
No way.
Yeah.
Where is it?
In North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're going to go down and we got tickets to Sunday.
Yeah, final day.
Go watch that.
That's exciting.
That'll be fun.
Cool. Yeah, I've never been to a PGA event. I know my dad was like marshaled for some that came to DC or whatever.
Gotcha.
So that would be pretty cool. But no, I've never gone. Yeah, I think Augusta National is a bucket list item.
That's a tough one, man. Yeah. That's a tough one to get tickets to. You can pay $5,000 or $6,000 for a ticket on the secondary market, or
I would never do that.
Yeah, or the way that you're supposed to get tickets is they only give tickets through a lottery system.
Yeah.
You sign up and then you just kind of hope. None of us got drawn for tickets.
Oh wow!
This year. For next year.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know.
And we have a friend of ours who went to this year's. He's been applying for 13 years, and this is the first year he's gotten drawn.
Gotcha. I lived down there for a few years, but yeah, I kind of wish I'd tried to take the opportunity to go, but yeah, I never did. So that's cool. Cool.
So we're gonna do that. Before I forget, hey, if you're obviously not going to know this right now because we're recording it, but we're also live on Kick and we're also live on YouTube right now.
Nice.
So if you can see it's showing that both of them are going. So we're going to start adding more and more ways that this can be viewed. And I think that's
so I think commenters and stuff will be interactive. You can.
So YouTube comments will show on here.
Okay.
Kick comments will not. So that's why we have the Kick screen up.
Sure. Yeah, we can monitor both.
So we're monitoring both chats.
Feel free to throw in some questions. I know you're not quite aware of when we're going live, but
right. And this is all part of the process, right? So we're trying out these different live stream options. And as we decide, I guess, which ones are, I don't want to say better because they're all kind of the same, but which ones we're probably going to use, we'll start advertising more frequently, in advance, because the way StreamYard works is I can set this to where like next Friday, I can set the thing today to go live next Friday at a certain time on all these platforms. So that way I can go to our Facebook page and I can say, hey, we're going to be live on Kick, YouTube, Facebook, all these things on this date at this time. And that way the message gets out and it'll be on all those platforms. So whatever platform you're using, I think those are kind of the big three.
Yeah.
We're not on Twitch. Twitch isn't really kind of our.
I think that's similar to Kick, right?
It is, but Twitch is more
gamers,
gaming, exclusive.
Yeah.
I think they're. Okay, hold on.
I'll keep going.
Got a comment here. Why can't I see it? Oh, it's from, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
It says, "Hey homie, you stream so really well. I do see you streaming a lot, but yet still not affiliated in partner." Okay, it sounds like it might be
that's cool.
Stream on a Twitch community for you to hit 1,000 followers or blah, blah, blah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
so
interactive.
It's interaction. And so again, these are things that we're learning too as we use these new platforms.
I'll continue to utilize these different platforms, and we're happy to get some feedback and answer questions. I know we have some loyal followers and then some sporadic followers. And that's we want to hear from you. So,
and I think it's our stream is watched throughout the world in different countries.
Mm-hmm.
I think our number. So obviously the United States is our number one followership, but number two is Germany. I don't know why.
Or maybe a VPN thing that
it could very well be, but there's about 33 countries listed that have watched our podcast. So, and it's Germany's a pretty high percent. So it's not just one person. So it's interesting.
Definitely want to hear feedback. And I think we mention it normally towards the end of the streams, but the recordings. But yeah, definitely love to be able to answer questions, find out what everybody's interested in, what topics you want to talk about, because I know that's why I love doing this, just because we get to kind of have conversations that we don't normally get to have in daily life. It's, a lot of people shy away from these topics. So, you go to your favorite streamers, favorite political commentators and things like that, and just kind of, but sometimes you just want to BS with some regular people. And,
exactly.
And get your stuff out there. But yeah, always happy to hear people's thoughts and opinions, and even get you live and on stream if that works out. So
I think the Trump campaign listens to our podcast.
Yeah.
And and this is why I got to give you the shout out.
Okay.
You've been saying this for a long time that this is what they should be doing.
Yeah.
And they're doing it. Jimmy said a long time ago that the Trump campaign should be using somebody for debate prep, or somebody preparing Trump for, talking to, whether it was Biden or Harris, whoever. And they announced that Tulsi Gabbard is who they're using as their.
Yeah, I heard that also, that they're bringing her in for consultation and stuff. And it's so perfect. I mean, and I think that's going to work out well beyond debate prep.
Yeah.
I mean, just having the interaction, getting feedback from somebody who is very much a moderate, but so far away from the extremist Democrat radicals that's what we're seeing today.
They don't exist, Jimmy.
Oh my
Come on.
So I don't know what to think about this, because I think, Kamala Harris and their campaign, their whatever this thrown together, installed campaign that's going on, is getting some traction, honestly. But I think there's a lot of people that know nothing about it.
Right.
Because it's hilarious to me that we have somebody who's campaigning on all the things that they're going to do when they get the opportunity, and all the things they're going to change on day one, when guess what? Your day one was 3.5 years ago.
Right.
Why haven't you done this yet? And people are still out there like, yeah, we're going to have a chance for somebody new that's going to fix everything. Hello,
yes.
This person in this campaign, this administration, they're going to fix all the things that they broke. You're going to listen to somebody that is saying that they're going to fix all the things that they're responsible for breaking and destroying our country.
But that's the game they play, right? They intentionally break shit so that they can take credit for fixing it. I mean, that's kind of like
their method of fixing it is only making it worse too. So
and so it's interesting that's kind of where we went to, because I actually titled this recording "She Forgot to Tell Us." Did you listen to Kamala's economic speech 2 days ago? I think it was Thursday. So in that, she promised $25,000 to every new home buyer. She promised that the federal government was going to pay all the medical debt that Americans have in the country if she's elected president. And she promised a $6,000 tax credit, child tax credit for every newborn baby. But she forgot something.
What's that?
She's got to tell us who's paying for it.
Well, I was going to say, we know who's paying for it. I love this money that the Democrats just feel like comes out of thin air to pay for all this stuff. There's no such thing as a free lunch, a free school.
And this on top of this, all this. So you got $25,000 for first-time home buyers. Every first-time home buyer, $25,000 from the federal government. Paying off the medical debt for all Americans. So who knows how many trillions that would be, plus a $6,000 tax credit. Now, interestingly enough, J.D. Vance, 2 days before, said that he would like to see the child tax credit go up to $5,000.
Yeah, so tax credits are different.
Well, that's what she's talking about. She's talking about a $6,000 tax credit.
Yeah, but tax credits are different. Like that, when you say that, I'm all for it because
but here's the problem. CBS News, when J.D. Vance said, I would like to see the child tax credit to go up to $5,000. Every single one of their headlines was, this is going to cost the government trillions. This is going to cost American taxpayers X. Kamala comes out with, I want the child tax credit to be $6,000 2 days after J.D. Vance said $5,000.
So Kamala Harris.
And it said, and all CBS, same fucking organization, all their reports came out saying, she's trying to help families by making a $6,000. Do you not remember the story that you wrote 2 days earlier about the same thing, saying with a completely opposite narrative?
Oh, it's hey, I have this grand idea: no tax on tips. You know, I'm the first one. She says the most ridiculous things. It's funny because that's what they get on Trump about. They get on Trump about exaggerating. That's what all these never Trumpers, the people with TDS, are always just on the stuff that he exaggerates about. He's like, I'm the first person to do this. I've never done this before. My administration, is the first to do this, and we have the best of this. And okay, he exaggerates and just wants to claim that. But she does the same thing. She made some ridiculous claim the other day when they were talking about chili peppers. She's like, I'm the first vice president to ever grow peppers.
Right. Because none of our presidents were ever farmers.
Right. Yeah. Right. They never grew anything. Yeah. Right. So it's just absurd. But it sounds like she's like the 7-minute abs person. 8-minute abs. Guess what? I'm gonna go 7 minutes.
So here's the thing, and there's a lot of people kind of freaking out right now because they feel like her campaign is getting all this huge traction. I don't believe it. I don't think that's true. I think the media is certainly going to try to push that narrative. But here's the thing. She's going to get, her numbers were going to go up because she's not Joe Biden. So that automatically is going to give her. The DNC is this upcoming week. She's going to get a little bit of, but then you got debates. And people are going to start to see.
Excuse me, I'm talking.
Yeah.
That's all she's going to say.
People are going to be, at that point, people are going to see that she is the same empty suit that she has been her entire political career. And these people in the Rust Belt, in these states that, one of them has to win. And I think, honestly, he needs to win one of them. She needs to win all of them. In order to actually win the election. And it's just not going to happen.
I think it's both kind of, I don't know, a high risk, high reward situation, I think, for both of them, because all he has to do is kind of keep his his calm demeanor and just let the policy speak for themselves.
Mhm.
He doesn't need to come out with like personal attacks.
Right.
And just other than calling out the absurdity,
Right.
just calling out the flip flopping, calling out the copycats, and just letting them fall on their own face rather than trying to look like the mean, person
Right.
that everybody kind of thinks he is. Because even in the Joe Biden debate, Trump surprised a lot of people.
Mhm.
He made people think that, wow, you know what, this is kind of a different guy.
Mhm.
He's not just the jerk, that I've taken him for, and maybe he's a little bit more reasonable than I thought. I think maybe he was able to win some people over. I think especially in the independent.
Yeah, well, and that's the key. You win elections by winning. I mean, the Democratic base is the Democratic base.
Mm-hmm.
The Republican base is the Republican base. Those are never going to change. That 6% of America, which is the quote unquote independents, is where you win and lose elections.
Yeah, I would question that a little bit, only because it seems like the shift is the right is getting kind of closer and closer to the middle.
Mhm.
They have generally very moderate, acceptable views across the board, whereas the left is getting further and further left.
Yeah.
So I think many more people are waking up to the radical extreme left, and they are saying, just like Tulsi Gabbard, we're seeing congressmen, a bunch of them.
Right.
There's been a few more lately that are completely flipping. There was a California congresswoman, I believe, in the last couple of weeks she's flipping Republican. Even Tulsi Gabbard didn't do that.
Right. She just
said,
left the party.
Left the party. But people are literally flipping Republican.
Yeah.
And that hurts them.
Yeah. So, and you never see it the other way.
No, that's
like I can't think of and maybe I'm wrong. Somebody can send me a message, or if you're in the chat or whatever, you can send a chat. But I don't remember ever hearing a Republican turning Democrat. It's always Democrats leaving the Democratic Party. Now, it's going to be on full display this week, because here's the problem that the Democrats have. And here's the problem that Kamala Harris has. The DNC, downtown Chicago is boarding up all their windows and boarding up everything because they are fully expecting the mass amounts of protests that they're going to have there. And it's not Republicans. It's not MAGA who's going to be protesting them. It's the pro-Palestinian progressive Democrats that are going to be there just hammering, because she won't put out a concise message or a clear message on where she stands on Israel and Palestine. She's trying to play both sides of the fence. Why? Because she has to. Because there's a large swath of Jewish Democrats who will not vote for her unless she comes out and says she supports Israel. Likewise, the progressive wing of the Democratic Party is full-on pro-Palestinian, and they will not vote for her if she doesn't come out with a clear, concise message in support of Palestine. So I actually am kind of like excited to see.
It's going to be a mess. I'm interested to see how they twist it, because that's exactly what they're going to try to do. They're going to blame it on the Republicans for causing,
of course,
the chaos that's going to be there. But
of course,
I
will, and I always try to give credit where credit's due. I will give credit to CNN, who came out after her economic speech on Thursday, and they did come out and basically say, yeah, all these things that she promises are just for show. Like, they did come out and say that. They did call her out that, you're never going to be able to pay $25,000 to every new homeowner. It's just not going to happen. There's not going to be a program. It's not going to make, first of all, presidents can promise whatever the hell they want because they have absolutely no authority to dole out money. That's the legislators' job, and it's never going to make it through the legislature. And then also on the medical, paying for the medical debt, same thing. And they called her out on both of them. So
that's great.
Yeah,
that's great to see. I know we get on mainstream media in the last couple of years just being completely one-sided and biased and shifting the narrative and lying. However, I think they're feeling the pressure. They have to compete with a lot of independent media outlets, and they're seeing that if they want to stay relevant, they have to kind of be much more reasonable, fair, unbiased. I mean, I honestly feel like Fox it does lean a certain way, but they have recognized that as well. They tend to have pretty moderate views. They have left-wing people on their programs as regular regular.
Yeah, they have Juan Williams.
Kidders.
They have Jessica Tarlov. Right. They have Rich. I can't even remember his name. I can't remember his last name. Black guy, Rich something. But he comes on all the time. Up until Geraldo left altogether, Geraldo was more of a liberal than he was a Republican on 90% of the issues. So yeah, I mean, but there's also a reason why. I always love it when the lefties say, "Oh, stop watching Fox News." Well, to say stop watching Fox News is to tell 90% of the media listening country to stop listening to what they listen to, because Fox News has been number one in virtually every time slot for a decade. Like, not even close. And anything after 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it's not even close. It's not even a. And now, don't get me wrong. They have their really right wing people. You got your Sean Hannity, and what I can't even remember what's her name that comes on after him or before him or something. But they're pretty far right. I wouldn't call them extremists, but they certainly are 100% on the conservative narrative.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in the political realm that's like of any sort of prominence is a right-wing extremist. Right? No. Right. The full-on right-wing extremism isn't present at all.
No.
In any sort of prominent position. So, but there's clearly left-wing extremists.
Well, yeah,
full-on
Joy Reid, Joy Behar, Rachel Maddow. I mean, those are like your progressive.
That's my point about it. I think that a lot of people are kind of realizing that as they get real, legitimate, truthful news from independent media personnel and things like that. So, I think this is why I just don't understand, and I won't understand if Kamala even puts out a reasonable opposition to Trump in this campaign, because they've done everything wrong. They've screwed everything up. They've not made the right decision on when to replace Joe Biden.
Right.
They've not made the right decision with picking a candidate. I still think that they would have had, the Republicans would have had a lot more trouble with anybody else besides Kamala. They would have had a lot more trouble with anybody with like a Josh Shapiro as a VP.
Absolutely.
Like you said, there is a huge faction of people that are anti-Israel, but I don't think that's but there's plenty of people that are supporting of Israel as well, and so that wouldn't have been a deal breaker, I think, in my opinion. I think the pros would have outweighed the cons. You can destroy Tim Walz.
Absolutely, he's easy.
Yeah, so I just don't. If there's a good showing, or it's even close, or if the insane happens and she wins, I just had no hope. I think at this point, if that happens, and I would call shenanigans. We know 2020 was bad. I think that. I think that there was many challenges in how that election went, and we haven't done enough to kind of, I think, shore those up. And I'm concerned. That's the only reason I'm concerned, because these fast-paced news cycles. Right. Everybody has already forgotten about the Trump assassination attempt.
Right.
That was like a matter of weeks ago.
Yep.
And 2 weeks after that, nobody cares.
Yep.
It's not. We thought, hey, that means Trump.
Well, and again, that's the media. The media has done a good job of shifting the conversation from, one of our former presidents almost got assassinated, which is a pretty big fucking deal.
It's a big deal. I mean, and I'm not blaming that on the leftists for the assassination attempt, other than the fact that they created these psychopaths that are but they didn't take action on it.
Right. I get it, but I think the media has done a good job. They've done their job as the PR wing of the DNC of shifting the narrative and shifting the conversation away from legitimate things to, what did JD Vance have for breakfast this morning? So
it's weird to attack JD Vance on the things that they're attacking him on. The dude is pretty what
are you gonna say? I mean,
pretty solid guy. He's not even weird. How they're describing him. He's not. He's like you could probably jump on DeSantis about being weird.
Sure.
That dude is kind of weird.
Yeah.
He showed his colors in the campaign or whatever you want to call it, as being like kind of a weird dude, even though he had pretty good policies. But JD Vance,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a
What do you say about him?
down to earth dude. Has a his wife is a minority Indian. What is she? I'm not.
She's a lawyer, I think, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's Indian, I believe.
Super solid person.
Yeah.
They have a solid family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Believe in the country. You know, they have good family values. But they're attacking them over like having family values,
right?
Supporting the family, and saying, I think the worst thing they had on him was, I think it was an old comment, right, about him saying about getting on cat ladies.
Yeah.
Single cat ladies,
right?
Like,
and it was like, yeah, okay, if that's the worst, if that's the worst thing you can come up with, he's doing pretty good.
He's doing pretty good. Yeah.
So anyway, hey, it is late. It's Saturday night. We just wanted to come on and do a little show. And I don't know, you gonna be around till Tuesday?
Should be, yeah.
We'll see about Tuesday. I think we should be okay. I'm playing golf tomorrow.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So
good weekend.
Got up to the hunting spot today and did some cleanup and hung a camera, and we'll see how that goes. That starts in less than a month. I think it's September 6th.
Okay.
Is our opening day.
Yeah. A lot to prepare for.
So
it's exciting.
Yeah, but we'll be back on Tuesday, and I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you all then.
See ya.